Okay, guys, welcome back to Storytime Tuesday, or Tuesday's Storytime, however which way you want to say it. I am Shay, if you don't know me, hiding behind the camera. um, but yeah, story time again. Okay, so this next week in Willow's life, um, she really works and concentrates and focuses on her new home, which was Granny Beasley. That's what she called her, Granny Beasley. Um, yeah, I know I've been saying Miss, not Granny Beasley. See, I'm getting it all wrong. Okay, the lady's name was Beasley Clark, and I have been saying Mrs. Beasley Clark. Then at one time, I think I had Willow calling her aunt. I know, y'all have to, this is not a real book to publish. It's just a made-up story in my head, and if I want to change it, I can change it. So deal with it. But I like the fact that Willow would have called her Granny Clark. And so she is concentrating more on her bedroom now. It was Miss Beasley's, it was Granny Clark's bedroom. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't help it. And so she's trying to, change it and make it her own. So, all of her stuff that she had wanted to keep, she had put in storage when she cleaned her other house out to rent it out to Paige, her new friend now. So she goes to the storage and she gets some more things out of hers that she wants. And she really concentrates on the bedroom. So she gets into the closet and she gets into all the dressers and things, and she goes through all of Granny Clark's clothes. And there's some nice, good clothes in there, but they're not really her style and her size and everything, so she don't keep any for herself. But she cleans it out, she folds them up nice, and she packs them up in a box, and she decides to take them around to different places she can donate, like maybe Salvation Army, different charities, thrift shops, and just donate it to them, so that other people can get them that needs them, So she does that, and she's excited about that. So now her closets and dressers are cleaned out, and she can use that for her clothes, and she unpacks all of her clothes and puts them in and hangs them up and all of that. So she's got her bedroom all fixed up. Then she goes into the bathroom, because she had gotten all of her bathroom stuff out of storage as well. And she gives the bathroom a good cleaning. And she goes through Granny Clark's medicine cabinet, and all of her stuff. And she had gotten rid of some of her real old towels and rags. And she kept some, but she added hers in there. And she cleaned things out, and she added her stuff in there and got her bathroom all fixed up real good and nice. Okay, so late one evening, she's sitting there in her living room relaxing, and she notices that Granny Clark's Bible is laying there on the end table. So she picks it up, and she's just gonna look through and thumb through and kind of read maybe a little bit in it. So as she's doing that, she comes across a page that she opens up to, and she finds, what do you think she finds? She finds 3 $5 bills in there. So she is still finding treasure through her house that Granny Clark left her. She giggles. She says, okay, I have found money in the stool. Now I find money in the Bible. I think that was all the money she has found so far, right? She's found a note in the utility room. She found a note with the money in the stool. Was that all? I can't remember. Maybe y'all can remind me if y'all remember the beginnings of the story. It's going to be hard for me to remember everything. But anyway, she starts thinking. And she starts concocting up what she wants to do in her mind. She's getting this great ideal, she thinks. And, because she had found money before, and remember, she found a shoebox and put it in it and put it in the top of a closet. I think is what she did. If I'm remembering right, I could be remembering wrong. But anyway, she decides she wants to do something else different. And so there's an old armoire in the house, and it's in the craft room. And she decides she wants to clean it out and fix it up. And so she does. She goes through it and cleans it out. It has some of Granny Clark's craft stuff in it. But she puts that other places in the craft room. And she cleans the armoire out and she sets it up. She buys her some pegboard. And she sticks it in the armoire, however you say the word. It's a hard word for me to say. I'm sorry, y'all. She puts a piece, she measures and cuts and puts a piece in the back of the armoire, plus one on each side of it, in the middle big part. And then she's got her hooks in there, and she can hang things on it. And Granny Clark had this pretty strawberry jar on her kitchen counter. She goes and gets it, she washes it out real good, and she dries it out real good. And then she gets that shoe box that she put the other money in. She takes the money out, and she decides to use the shoe box for something else. So she puts that up for now. She puts the money plus the 3 $5 bills she just found in the Bible into that strawberry jar. And she sets that inside her armoire. And then she goes around, because she had been collecting as she's finding and seeing things. Or maybe she just noticed. Let's say she noticed different tools laying around the house. And she had kind of been thinking in the back of her mind, these tools does not really need to be scattered all through the house like this. They need their own place. So she gathers the tools. Hammers, screwdrivers, different little things like that. A thing of nails. She had like a little container, and she put the nails in, and then she set that in the armoire. She hung up the hammer and the screwdriver and other little tools and things she found on the pegboard hooks in the armoire. So she's got that all fixed up now. Well, earlier in the week, her new friend Paige, which is renting her mom and dad's house, called her up and invited her to come to supper. She wants to cook supper for her Friday night at the end of the week. And so Willow is excited about that. So she, it's Friday. Friday comes, and she goes over there, and, she's helping her friend finish up and get things ready. And then they sit down to eat. And so Willow gets a little grin on her face, and Paige notices it. And she says, "What are you grinning about? You look like you got something up your sleeve." And she says, "Let me tell you a story." She says, "But this is a true story." So she starts back at the beginning. Because see, her and Paige are just newly have met and getting to know each other. And they're really liking each other and finding they have a lot in common. And they're starting to get to know each other more, So she wants to tell her all about her and everything. So she starts at the beginning, and she tells how her and her mom and dad, where they used to live. And her dad got moved because of his job and moved there and found this very house that she's living in. And how Granny Beasley Clark came over and introduced herself, gave them flowers and a casserole, and helped them unpack and get fixed up. And how they became friends with her. And then how she introduced them to the neighbors, and how her mom and all of them helped all the neighbors, that job and everything. And then how Granny Clark was in the hospital, and was sick and had crocheted the pink cap and give it to her when she was a little girl. And how she grew up as a teenager and she'd go visit Granny Clark and help her with things and even spend the night with her sometimes. And how she felt like she could talk to Granny Clark better than her mom about things, and she helped her a lot. And then, she told her how her mom and dad passed away, and then she just lived by herself. But then she told how Granny Clark got worse, and she had to go in the home, and then she passed away. And then, lo and behold, she was surprised to find out Granny Clark had left her house with all of her stuff in it. And Paige said, "What? Is that your house you're living in now? So that was Granny Clark's house?" And she said, she smiled and said, "Yeah." And she said, "But let me tell you the fun part now at the end of this story." And she starts telling her about the note that Granny Clark left her. Talking about get ready for a treasure hunt. And how she found the money and in the stool with the note. And the note in the utility room with a smiley face. Welcome home and all this. And now that this evening reading her Bible, or the other day reading her Bible, Granny Clark's Bible, she found 3 $5 bills in it. And then she told her how she picked up her armoire. And she says, "I'm getting this crazy idea because I've been noticing lots of stuff, different things laying around, but there's lots of each of these things. I'm going to start collecting them up and, finding certain containers and things to keep them in, finding certain uses for them." She says, "I'm getting this ideal is growing in my head." And so Paige just loves it. And she says, "Oh my gosh, this is so fun." She says, "I'm so excited. I can't wait to find out what you find next and what your ideal is and what you're going to do with everything." She says, "Please keep me updated." She says, "Oh, don't you worry. I will." So they're just having fun and they're making all these plans and everything. And so that's where I'm going to leave it with you today. And so hope y'all are enjoying this story. And remember, I got this idea of the rest of this story because it kind of went along with what I was doing at first in the beginning from the treasure house. And remember, I'm please asking y'all, don't go watch the treasure house until this story's over with because you'll spoil it. Alright guys, we'll see y'all next Tuesday for story time. Toodaloo!